We are doing a two. That's Brian White. He and I are doing a two-part, one on my channel and one on his channel about the Model Q because the Model Q is going to be a big deal, and I think some people are saying that it's going to be a big deal, and then it confuses me, Brian, because then they say that the sales aren't going to be up in the fourth quarter.
And there's no performance model yet. That's coming too. So we're getting a performance, we're getting a slightly larger and a slightly cheaper, and nothing will
And
change.
nothing will change. So none of that's going to help to offset the possible loss of sales because of the 7,500 going away. So I am confused. Maybe you can help me on that. But let me just say first that I did a poll. Of course I did. And on X, and on the poll, I said, would you buy a stripped down model of the Model Y for $29,950? Now I recognize that might be too low, but I wanted to get a sense of whether people had interest in the stripped down version as opposed to a complete model change like a hatchback or something. 57% of the people that answered the poll say that they would buy a stripped down Model Y for that price. That's
I'm not surprised. Now, I will caution you, your poll may not be accurate because I read it as a stripper version, and that's why I voted yes. But there is uh, I bought a long range Model Y. I didn't want a long range. I wanted a single motor long range if it was a thing, but I got dual motor because it was the only configuration that had a third row. But if it was available without some of these features, I would have preferred that. I don't need a lot of these features. We will talk about that. And like Randy said, it's a two-parter. We're going to go into depth as well on my channel on the same topic because there's that much to cover.
Yeah, from a completely different
Yeah,
angle. All right.
yeah.
So on the one hand, we would then both agree that what we're trying to attack here, I think, is just a lower price. That this is the
Just more affordable.
just
Just
more
more affordable.
right.
We were told more affordable, more affordable.
Exactly. So I just did an analysis also on Grok that said that a family of four that has $120,000 income can afford to spend about $1,100 a month on everything related to a car.
Hmm,
Now that might mean two cars. So now
hmm.
you're talking about two payments and filling up two gas tanks and
To insurance.
repairs, et cetera, insurance for two cars, et cetera. So $1,100 is what they could afford. Well, you're not going to buy two $2,900 I mean 29 I mean sorry two $40,000 vehicles and stay under that monthly outlay, even with Teslas where you eliminate the gas. So for that kind of a family, they got to be looking at either used, or if they want new, you got to get it down to 29, 30, 35, somewhere in there.
Hmm.
I think, and that's that family. You might also be talking about a individual who's making half that, 60, $70,000 a year. That's $30 an hour, $35 an hour. That person also is going to be right on the edge, not able to buy a 45, $50,000 car. They're going to need more like a $30,000 car.
Hmm. Hmm. All true, all correct. If you want, a lot of people will say Tesla's still too expensive. It's too expensive of a car. It's not comparable in price to, say, a RAV4. I can get a RAV4 for less. I said, no, comparable. You have
Right.
to actually compare the features. When you add on all the features it would take to get that RAV4 up to what a Model Y is at its most basic form, it's a lot of features.
Right.
The autopilot that comes for free is better than what Toyota offers for a premium.
Mhm.
So you got to add all those things in.
Right. Okay. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to go down this list of the things that we think may have been removed. Now, this is not the whole list because basically somebody is picking up the camouflage and looking underneath, and they're looking in the windows and trying to see what they can see. So we don't really know what's been changed, but these are the things that appeared from this individual who was able to see this particular car. So number one was
Yes.
no glass roof. Brian, is that going to make a difference to you? Or are you going to just be like, okay, that's it, not going to buy the car?
I would, I'm the driver. I'm in the front seat. If I'm not driving, I'm in the passenger seat. I don't get the benefit of the panoramic glass. It doesn't apply to me. In the Model Y, we actually got Joa overhead sunshades. The
Mhm.
Model 3, we didn't feel we needed it, but I don't need a glass roof. You're going to drop some weight, you're going to drop some cost, and you might even get a little better range because you're not doing as much climate control.
Yeah, I can tell you that I think the glass roof is fine. I'm all for it, but I've never ever said, "Oh, please add a glass roof. Please give me a sunroof or a moonroof." It's never been something I added to a car on purpose, other than if I thought it was a top of the line luxury car where it would impact the resale. So I don't think this is a big problem.
No,
All right, next was the front bumper camera might have been, no, I don't think that was removed.
I don't think it was. I saw that on a list as well,
Okay.
and I think these are still going to be robo ready.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense to cut it. I think that's a misunderstanding.
All right.
And that wouldn't save any money anyway.
No, no, no. So then you get the no rear indirect light bar. That probably
Mhm.
is a pretty expensive deal. So,
Yes, that will cut a whole bunch of cost out of the car. Maybe only hundreds of dollars,
mhm.
but hundreds of dollars is a percentage of a percent of the car
Right, right. So would you
from
care?
one thing.
Would-
Would I care? I mean, I like the cool factor, but if I was buying the car today and they said, "Hey, we'll knock 300-400 bucks off for not," please, please,
Just knock it off.
would you knock it off?
Right. All right. We've got the rear gray insert replaced by a painted body panel.
What
So,
they're talking about is the thing that the indirect light shines onto.
yes, okay.
If the indirect light's gone, get rid of that
Yeah,
too. Just
right.
paint it, no problem.
Sure, sure, sure. Then we've got, there's likely no front light bar.
Would
Again,
it matter to me? No. Do
no,
not care.
don't care.
I don't know if would you care?
No, none of that. So
No.
far, none of these things would have mattered to me. How about no split headlights?
I'm not sure what that means. Um, I really like the Matrix headlights on my Model 3 and Y. It is wonderful to just have the high beams on and no one ever flashing at you because it carves out little pockets of darkness
Right.
to not blind the car in front of you, to not blind oncoming traffic or pedestrians. It's wonderful, but I'm not sure what they mean by split headlights, so I
Yeah,
can't really say.
I got the impression that this might have been cosmetic. So in other words, you do want the cars to look different. And one of the ways that cars look different is the headlights and the taillights.
Mm,
So if you've got a step down model and you
mhm.
want to keep any of the pizzazz going for the step up model in terms of the way it looks on the street, and apparently not going to change that much cosmetically in terms of the hood or et cetera. We don't know for sure, but probably not a ton. Then this will be one way to differentiate in terms of the models.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't think I would. Again,
Uh,
I'm sure I would care.
I drove a minivan, Randy. Do you think style is my first objective?
Yeah, well, I drove one. I drove many minivans. Regular seats, likely not ventilated. So regular meaning cloth seats, and not ventilated. And you say,
I I don't care about that. If it doesn't need to be ventilated, if it's cloth, cloth doesn't make you as clammy
right?
as a leather or fake leather seat would.
Yeah.
Ventilated, it's going to cut some cost there. Um, the ventilated seats on the Model Y are not as comfortable as they are in the Model S, X, and 3. I don't know why. They're a little stiffer.
Huh.
Uh, so I think it might even be a benefit. But again, I wouldn't pay extra for fancy seats. I just want I just want a car I can afford.
I actually have purchased cloth seats on purpose when I had a choice to go with the leather and it was fine. I like cloth seats. So I think there's a certain percentage of the population that likes the cloth seats.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah. All right. No storage in front of the cup holders.
I mean, I use that space. I'm not sure I would pay for that space. I don't know how much savings there is, so I'm not sure if that one's actually going to make it.
Yeah.
Are they going to save enough money to justify having a second set of parts on hand?
Yeah, exactly. That might be a big question mark. And then no rear screen. You've had kids in the back. What do you think?
Unless they're paying for the car, it's a secondary matter. When they were little, I'd have paid extra for that, and I did. I would buy DVD players back there to keep them entertained.
Mhm.
But I most people do most of their drives with no one in the back seat. I was concerned when Elon got rid of the lumbar support on the passenger side. Say, well, most people don't use it. Yeah,
Yeah.
most people don't use the back seat. You getting rid of that too? So I think that's a very easy way to cut another couple $100.
Yeah.
And again, all it takes is 350 before you've reduced an entire percent from the
Yes.
cost of the car.
Yes. 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 All right. And then the single stalk for turn signals.
I saw that one and I don't know what they mean.
Yeah.
The Y already didn't have a shifter,
Yeah.
so I think that's not a savings.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that one either.
Unless maybe they mean maybe I mean they could get rid of it entirely and say no on this one, no stock.
Yeah. Now, I know they said that it was the same size wheels, and they mentioned they were Pirellis. Would you if you're buying a low end vehicle, would you be paying any attention at all to the tires and the wheel size?
I well the wheel size, stick with the 18s, 19s, whatever it is. I guess it's 19s is the base on that. Heck, take me to 18 if they're cheaper. We know they'll fit, even though Tesla won't admit it, because I've met many people who've
Switched?
switched to the 18s. Go all the way to 18. And do you need Pirellis? Because I don't know if your list has it. The list I saw didn't. It's going to be single motor.
Yeah.
So this is not going to be a race car. This is
Right.
not going to be a performance one. This is going to be the lowest powered Model Y. And um, do you need Pirellis if you don't have, sub 5 second 0 to 60 times?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to guess that you're talking about maybe $400 in savings by going to a lesser quality tire rather.
400 on the tire. Take the wheel diameter from
Yeah.
19 down to 18. You're saving another. I mean, upgrading your rim size on a Tesla is already like a $2,000 ad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this could easily be, yeah, $600-700
Significant
savings
deal.
per car. It's significant.
Now, one of the things that what they couldn't know, of course, is what size battery it would be. And I'm going to guess that this is, that this is a great place and maybe options here. So you may have a 240 mile version that is your base model
Mm.
29950. And then if you want the 300 miles, then you pay a little extra for a bigger battery.
I could see them doing it two ways. We've seen them in the past say, this is the standard range. It has a range of whatever, and they try and put a cheaper battery in. Sometimes that battery's not available. When it's not, they give you the nicer battery for free and then send you an email saying, do you want more range?
Yeah.
We can unlock more range. But that's great for the consumer because if you've got a larger battery that's software locked
Mhm.
to 80%, that means you will never discharge below 10 and you will never charge above 90. You can charge to 100 on those without getting into your buffer zones.
Interesting. Interesting. Never thought of that. See,
Yeah.
I did learn something today. So on the things that we don't know, what other ways would you look at what you think could be removed that the average 29,950 buyer wouldn't care about?
Hmm. Um, One thing that I saw commented on was, boy, how come when they added the metal roof, it's not color matched? Because they'd have to reconfigure the paint booth.
Oh,
The roof panels, I believe, all come in black
oh,
so that they don't have to color match. They don't have to reconfigure the entire painting line to
yeah,
handle that whole extra space.
hmm,
Now, it could be that they do color match it, that the
yeah.
roof is white or red or blue.
Oh,
Um, but I don't think people would care. They already are looking at a Model Y, which has effectively a black roof. So I think it would be an interesting bit of design choice. One thing I hope they don't do is limit your usability of front and trunk space.
Mhm.
We saw with the Cybertruck, they got rid of the vault, the
Yeah,
sub vault
yeah,
in the back.
yeah,
Terrible.
yeah.
And I get it. If you've got a cloth tonneau, you don't want people knowing there's something good underneath it.
Right.
Um, cutting into it with a knife. In terms of other things they could cut, I assume they will cut the subwoofer, just like
Yeah.
they do with the Model 3 rear wheel drive.
Yeah.
And I assume, yeah,
Just
the
the
model,
subwoofer, or would you cut multiple speakers?
they could cut probably 4 speakers out of the equation without people complaining.
Right.
And, it is on the old standard range Model 3, it did have a not as good sound system. And I think the medium range one did as well, had
Mhm.
a not as amazing sound system.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I did see people saying, well, you want to save a bunch of money, just get rid of all the autonomous features. They
Okay.
won't. They won't. That's not going to happen.
Not gonna happen.
They've never done that. They never will. And you really need all of those things for your automatic braking, your lane departure,
Mhm.
your autopilot.
Right.
Well, get rid of autopilot. I guess you could paywall autopilot at $1,000 or two. I don't know
Yeah,
what they
yeah,
would charge for it,
yeah.
but I don't see them doing that. And I think the safety would be negatively impacted. So I don't think Tesla wants to go that route. What they could do is software lock the horsepower
Yeah.
and say, look, if you want the more horsepower, we can give it to you, but that's not what you're paying for.
Mhm.
And to the people complaining, well, if I paid for this motor, I should have access to this motor. The motor's already limited. It's limited because if it was unbridled, it would destroy the battery and the motor. When you increase, if you buy acceleration boost on your 3 or Y, they have to factor in the additional warranty withholding.
Mhm.
You may have failure or degradation because of that additional horsepower and torque. And then of course they would say, if we're giving you the acceleration boost, maybe think about upgrading your tires too. But you can get good tires that are not Pirellis or
Right.
Continentals.
Right. Yes, that's true. 100%.
And like you were saying, especially if it goes all the way down to 18s,
Right.
you're talking about a more affordable tire by a good margin.
Right. So the
What
other thing,
about you? Are there features you think they
well,
could
yeah,
cut?
the thing that I looked at, because I just recently, when I rent a car in Hawaii, I always rent the cheapest. Find the cheapest car I can find on tour. I mean, literally the cheapest car, because we only drive it a few times because it's Kauai.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's only so big. So I always get the cheapest car. And this last time we got this cheap car, and it didn't have automatic seats. It didn't have electric
Hmm.
seats. Now I worry that maybe that change would be significant for
Right.
Tesla. It would be the only car in the line that doesn't have, and so that might be too big of a deal to change over. I don't know, but it
I
was.
would agree with you.
Would
I
you?
would agree with you. Absolutely. I mean, you could also make it so that the back seats don't fold. Oh no, I guess they would have to. I was thinking if it was a Model 3, you could make it so the
Oh,
back seats are just permanently latched,
yeah.
which would reduce utility but save an, a inadequate amount of
I
money.
see. Yeah, right. So some of these things just would, yeah, and
Oh,
it
the Model Y has a shelf in depending where you had it made. I think the Texas ones have a cover over the cargo area that would be gone.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Little things here and there, little things. Yeah,
Yeah. You have maybe they get rid of the 12-volt socket in the back. I don't know.
yeah.
It's saving so little money though. I'm not sure if they would do it.
Right, right, right. So do you think that 29,950 in the United States is even in the ball game if it's the same wheelbase? Or do you think that, like some are saying, that it's probably more like 34,950?
I'm thinking it's more like the 35K figure, 29,999, all the nines is not doable today.
Okay.
Now, if this becomes hugely popular, if this
Uh,
becomes like, one third of the cars they sell,
right.
you would have the economies of scale where you could look at it and say, yeah, maybe we do drop it.
Mhm.
Or if you start seeing that more people are buying the acceleration boost, the
Right.
range boost, the FSD, they could say, look, we can cut down to 8% margin. We're still going to be at 15 based on the trends of our buyers.
Right.
But I think that would take more time to figure out. And 35,000 means you could still buy a Model Y that's in many ways better than the one that you bought a few years ago
Yeah, right.
for the same price as the fancy one you could get today.
Yeah. And of course, figuring in the gas savings again now and
Yeah.
the repair savings, all of a sudden you're talking about probably the equivalent of maybe a $25,000 car.
I figure gas savings over 100, 150,000 miles should be 10 grand.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So we think therefore that this should be a heck of a deal. This should be, this could be a big seller.
I think so. Yes, absolutely. And especially if you're talking about fleet buyers,
Yeah.
they don't want any of those things. So this would be the best car for them.
So some people are worried about this being something that would cannibalize the sales of the Model Y, the lowest end of the Model Y series as it exists now. But I think it was AJ that suggested the opposite, that you could have people coming in to look at the $35,000 vehicle who then say, I think I'm going to go ahead and go for the 47.
I'm going to go with AJ on this one. I think that's the right approach. And a reminder to AJ, come on, brother, unblock me.
Oh, yeah, you're not alone. You're not the only one that's unblocked.
Oh no, of course, but
very popular, yeah.
But I'm the only one I know of who he apologized to for blocking.
Oh, and then forgot to unblock you.
Oh no, he didn't unblock me. It's because of people who we're affiliated with. He said, if you stop being a rebellionaire.
Oh, I see.
But he's obviously softened on that. There are some rebellionaires, but I'm out of sight, out of mind.
Yes, I actually he's the one. I only subscribe to two people on X, and he's one of them. I want to see his numbers as soon as they come out, and so that may be why I'm still there, even though I'm a rebellionaire.
Well, there are other rebellionaires he didn't block, but we've had a great relationship. I think his work is fantastic. I would love to see more of it. And Randy, if you should add a third subscription, because I offer subscriptions, and periodically you would be able to see me do my daily puzzles.
Well, therefore, all of you out there, you've already subscribed to me. Be sure and go over to subscribe to him.
Yeah, because Randy will give you additional analysis and content, and I give a little bit of that, but mostly it's the daily puzzles.
No, Randy gives you additional nothing. This is purely a tip jar. It's purely a tip jar because of my hard work, my dedication.
Yeah. And when do you start that?
That's it. That's the end. You're blocked. Okay.
I love it.
All right, Brian, as always, glad to have you on. I think that we did something significant here. I hope.
And in part two, over on my channel, we'll go even deeper and approach it from cost perspective, from engineering perspective, and all that.
Yeah, it'd be great. Okay, we'll look forward to doing that. All right. To all of you out there, as always, it has been great talking to you.